In this video, we will learn how to construct sentences that follow the correct rules. Hi everyone, Teacher Dong here. Today, we will talk about subject-verb agreement. But before that, don't forget to download the practice test which I provided just for you. You can find the link down in the description box below. So first, let's talk about what subject-verb agreement really is. Well, it simply means that the subject agrees with the number of the verb. And in the same way, the verb agrees with the number of the subject. Let's look at this example. John eats the apple. In this sentence, the subject is John and the verb is eats, right? What does the rule say? That's right. A singular subject should have a singular verb. Because John is singular, what do we do to the verb? Correct. We add s to the base form of the verb, which in this case, it's eat. We add s, making it eat. Everything clear? Let's go to the next one. Our next example is, they eat the apple. In this sentence, they is the subject and eat is the verb. Now, they is plural in number, so what do we do to the verb? Yes, we don't add s to the base form of the verb, eat. So, eat stays eat. Clear? Let's go to the next one. Now, I am supposed to be talking about this in a separate video, but this is very important. Take note of this because this is what most people usually confuse themselves with. A noun becomes plural when we add s to it. Correct? Okay. The opposite is true to the verb. A verb becomes singular when we add s to it. Is that clear? Great! Also, before we talk about the rest of the rules, it's important that we talk about the key words which we need to focus in this topic. The key words that we need to focus on are subject and the verb. No matter how the sentence looks like, and no matter how long or short it is, it will always have subject and the verb. Remember, focus on subject and the verb. Clear? Let's go to the next one. To make this tutorial a little bit interactive, I will be providing 2 examples for each rule. I will also show these examples first before we talk about the rule. What you have to do is identify which one you think is the correct sentence. Are you ready? Let's do it. Let's look at our examples. Number 1. Whatever you eat affects your health. Number 2. Whatever you eat affects your health. Which one do you think is the correct answer? That is right. The first sentence is the correct answer. Why? Because according to the rule, when the subject is a clause, the verb should be in singular form. So in this case, what is our subject? Whatever you eat. That is the subject. Now, the verb is affects. Remember, when the subject is singular, we should add s to the verb, making affect affects. Okay? Clear? Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are, this generation are very problematic. Number 2, this generation is very problematic. Which one do you think is correct? That is right. The correct sentence is the second one, because according to the rule, nouns that refer to groups or organizations, also known as collective nouns, should have singular verb. However, there are some situations where these collective nouns can become either singular or plural. Let's look at these examples. Number 1, the committee is having a meeting. Number 2, the committee were asked to introduce themselves. Which one is correct? Actually, both of them are correct. The subject committee in the first sentence is referring to the group as a whole, while the subject committee in the second sentence is referring to some members of the committee. Is everything clear? Very good. Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are: mathematics remains to be the subject that I hate the most. Mathematics remains to be the subject that I hate the most. Which sentence is correct? That is right. The first sentence is the correct one. Why? Because according to the rule, names and titles like mathematics, physics, gymnastics, and other words that naturally end with S should have singular verbs. Is that clear? Great. Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are: number 1, everything looked perfect. Number 2, everything looks perfect. Which one is correct? That's right. The correct sentence is the second one, because according to the rule, indefinite pronouns like everything, everybody, everyone, etc. should have singular verbs. But how do I know? Well, the only way is you should familiarize yourselves with these words. Practice using them. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are: number 1, some of the books are missing. Number 2, some of the salt is scattered on the table. Which one do you think is correct? Actually, both of them are correct, because according to the rule, indefinite pronouns like some, all, most, etc. will have singular or plural verbs depending on the situation. Okay, first situation. Let's look at the first sentence. Some of the books are missing. Some is the subject, right? And are is the verb. Now, notice the phrase of the books. The noun books that comes after the pronoun some is plural and a countable noun. Okay? So it's plural and it's countable. We use plural verb. Clear? And what about the second one? Okay, let's look at that. The second sentence is: some of the salt is scattered on the table. Again, some is the subject. However, is the verb. It's singular. Why? Because the noun salt that comes after the indefinite pronoun some is uncountable. It cannot be counted. That's why we need to use a singular verb. Got it? Very good. So let's go to the next one. Our next examples are: number 1, John and Carla works for the government. Number 2, John and Carla work for the government. Which one is correct? That's right. The second sentence is correct. This one is very easy, right? According to the rule, when the subject has two or more items joined by and. In this case, the items are John and Carla, and they are joined by the word and. That's why we use a plural verb. And in this case, the verb is just the base form of the verb, work. We don't add s to it. Okay? Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are, number 1, a box of pencils satisfies the students. Number 2, a box of pencils satisfy the students. Which one is correct? The first one is the correct sentence, because according to the rule, a phrase or a clause between the subject and the verb does not affect the number of the verb. Let's look at the first sentence. The subject is, that's right, a box. The verb is satisfies. What is between them? Of pencils. Okay, you might be tricked because pencils is plural, but that's not the subject. Okay, it is the box, which is in singular form. That's why we use satisfies, because again, according to the rule, when the subject is singular, we add s to the verb. Clear? Great! Let's go to the next one. Our next examples are, number 1, 50 pesos is too much for a piece of apple. Number 2, 50 pesos are too much for a piece of apple. Which one do you think is the correct one? That's right. The first sentence is the correct answer. Why? Because according to the rule, when the subject is an expression of money, time, or measurement of distance and weight, the verb should be singular, which in this case, 50 pesos is the subject. It is considered singular. That's why the verb is singular, which is. Clear? Very good. So, that ends our lesson for today. If there are any topics that you would like me to talk about in my next video, please write it down in the comment section below. And if you find this tutorial helpful, please share it to your friends and consider subscribing. Again, this is Teacher Dong. Don't forget, study, practice, repeat. Bye!